All right. So, what was your first job you ever had?
First job I ever had. Now, would that be a paid job or an unpaid job?
Let's go with paid.
Okay, first paid job I ever had was working at my uncle's grocery store.
And what did you do there?
I worked as a bagger, carrying groceries out to people's cars, stocking shelves. And as I got older, and my Uncle Clyde Dillard, ran the store there, Dillard's store, Dillard's Grocery in Buena Vista. He moved me into the meat market. So I took care of all the meats and worked on most everything there in the meat market except one thing. And he took care of that. The stuffed sausage. He made that once a week. Special recipe, special grinding, and made the sausage. And he always did that.
Did you prefer being a bagger or working in the meat department?
Meat department. Oh, I loved it back there.
And if I remember, you said there was a bandsaw that was really dangerous. Did you ever get hurt or anybody working there?
No, nobody ever got hurt. The main thing that I worked with, including knives and chop blades and that kind of thing, saws, was the bacon slicer, we called it. Mechanical, manual slicer. You turn the wheel, you put the bacon on there, a big long slab of bacon, and it would slice the bacon off. And that sliced the bologna and anything else that needed slicing.
Did you enjoy that as a first job, or did you want to get out?
I did. I really did.
Awesome.
Enjoyed that. And I thank Uncle Clyde for letting me do that. And even when I'd come back from college, I'd work there sometimes if he needed some help.
Awesome. I remember you telling me that there was one lottery of all lotteries. If you won that lottery, it was that. Can you describe that a little bit?
I certainly can. Remember it well, like it was just today. Back when I was coming of age to register for the Selective Service, they had what was called a lottery. And it went for several years.
What time period is this?
That would have been, the whole lottery would have been mid to late 60s into the 70s. Vietnam was over in what, 75? Can't really remember. But every year they, the people that were, had turned 18, they had literally a big bowl that had everybody's birth date in there, 365 dates in this bowl. And as they pulled them, that was your number to be drafted into the Army or to the military. Generally the Army, they got the majority of people. But that particular year that I turned was leap year. So there were 366 dates in that bowl. And when I heard it announced, I'd been out at the farm baling hay. That was one of my unpaid jobs. Of course, I got room and board for that. But I was coming back in the truck, listening to the radio, and they announced, and November the 1st was number 366. So it meant that everybody in the country would have had to have been drafted before I got drafted. I always said that was the best lottery to win.
And yet, even after that, you still tried to apply for the Air Force?
So I did. No, Navy. They were looking for naval aviators at the time. And that was 70s. I was in college then and applied and didn't make it through the physical for some reason.
You said the doctor found something that no other doctor had ever found before or since.
That is true.
But you
had never had any doctor mention it before, and have asked doctors about that later, and they said they've never seen it. So that 3-day physical, I went to Macon for 3 days of physical, and if I had passed, I would have gone on to training, which most people may know from the movie Officer and a Gentleman. That was naval aviation training. They don't like to call their people that fly planes pilots. They call them naval aviators. They say they have to do so much more.
So not only did you win the draft, if you want to consider it winning, you also had a specific situation with a doctor that prevented you, and
From going.
that was before I was born, so that could have changed my fate.
True. Back then, you had a classification, and my classification was 1A, which meant you were ready to go. If they needed people and you got drafted, you went off to basic, and most times you ended up in Vietnam. And after that, I was changed to, I think it was 1M, which is a medical deferment. But yeah, I did. I wanted to fly jets. I wanted to be a jet pilot.
That would have been awesome.
Jet aviator.
So one more question for you this time. I've kind of heard the story, but how did you meet Mom? How did it happen?
How did I meet Mom? Well, I was working on Victory Drive in Columbus, Georgia.
Where at?
At a company called Sunshine Biscuits. They were like a Nabisco, made lots of crackers, saltines. They were famous for Cheez-Its. They made the Cheez-Its and had a bakery in Columbus. I had been working there for several years. And
When you first got out of Auburn?
No, that wasn't my first job out of Auburn.
But you used your business degree.
Oh yes, yes, because I was went into the purchasing department at Sunshine and was the assistant purchasing manager, and was responsible for ordering a lot of the supplies and raw materials that were used in the operations there.
So you were working there on Victory Drive.
Right.
You were living where?
In Phoenix City on Lakewood Drive, apartments called Carriage Townhouse Apartments. And every day I would, after work, leave, come up Victory Drive, cross the bridge into Phoenix City and go around and go up Lakewood and go home.
On car or bicycle or?
Car.
Okay.
Yeah, I rode car. That was probably 5 miles or so, plus a lot of traffic. But stopped one day at the Welcome Center, which was on Victory Drive. It's a Georgia Welcome Center.
Where the kind of next to the Civil War Museum?
Naval Museum, the Civil War Naval Museum. That's I'm not sure exactly what's in that building now. The building's still there.
South Commons, the softball.
Yeah.
Right there.
And stopped in there. I don't know, probably needed a map, whatever, and go in and see this lady working at the counter and thought, my goodness, she's pretty. And she offered me, back then they gave away little paper cups of Coke and a little bag of roasted peanuts from Tom's Peanuts.
Both made in
Columbus, Georgia. Yeah. Tom's was located in Georgia, and that was something that all the welcome centers gave away. Georgia being the peanut state, they gave away the little bags of peanuts and then the little cups of Coke. And I stopped there and, like I say, got a drink and a pack of crackers. And as I've said many times, Cheryl knew then the weight of my heart was through my stomach. So she fed me and gave me drink and asked her out and went out. And
did you ask her out right then, or did you come back later? Or
I did ask her out right then.
Do you remember what you asked her out to first date?
Do what again?
Do you remember the first date? What you asked her out to go do?
Yes, yes. We went out to eat at the Hungry Hunter. There's a place in Columbus. I don't know if they're even around now. Was a steak place. We went and ate steak and dated for 2.5 years, I guess, from that point.
What year was that?
That was, I guess, 75, 76. Yeah, I guess 76. And yeah, we dated but yep, met her at the Welcome Center.
Awesome.
Over a Coke and a pack of peanuts.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.